So the first time that I ever thought about this consciously, it was 3 a.m. I was in Chelsea's garage and we had just spent the last probably 2 hours venting and talking and connecting about the shitty days that we had and the bad mentality that both of us were stuck in. And we were just drawing all these comparisons and like getting real and honest about our shit, and then like catching ourselves and being like, but we don't actually believe this way, so like why do we act this way, and why are we responding this way, and like why do we torture ourselves, and like we were just having this like super deep like best friend convo, like you know what I mean. And I'd had this analogy come into my mind in one of my venting sessions, and it's literally stuck with me since. And every time I'm in a bad mood or a wave or something negative feels heavier than something positive, I always remind myself of it. And I knew I wanted to add it into the course, and I was gonna be filming it tomorrow, but I'm in one of those moments right now, and more than I want this to look good or look pretty, I want it to be real and I want it to be authentic. And I want you guys to like really understand that like I really do apply these things to my life, and that this really is my life, and I understand that it's your life that we're dealing with here, and that matters to you. And I just always want to be as authentic and as real as possible. So cue me sitting in a random alleyway having this convo with my camera. But the analogy was like, imagine your mind as a dark room, right? Imagine it as a dark room, and your thoughts are like little minions, right? Your thoughts are like little minions, but plot twist, they're never gonna go away, right? They're always, always, always gonna be there, right? There's nothing you can do to eliminate the minions. The goal is to never think you can eliminate the minions. They're always gonna be there. And to remind ourselves that like, we want minions, because without minions, like our room would be empty all the time. Without these little minions, our room would be empty. And sometimes the minions are so good. Sometimes they're like the happiest minions in the entire world, and you're just like, oh my god, I want more of these minions. And sometimes they're bad little shits, and you're just like, oh my god, someone please come and get your freaking minions out of my room. They're messing up everything, right? But without the minions, the room would be empty. And without thoughts, our minds would be empty. We wouldn't be human, and we wouldn't be able to do or experience anything, right? So we need the minions. We love the minions, right? But imagine now that this dark room, all the way in the back of the room, only if you know it's back there, is a light switch. And it's always there. This light switch has always, always, always been there. When we haven't flipped the light switch on, it's dark in there. And then the minions, both good and bad, can run in aimlessly. And then they're just bumping into shit, knocking things over because you can't see anything. And like you reach in, you're like, okay, I'm gonna grab the minions and I'm gonna do something, but you can't see what you're grabbing, right? There's so much going on, and you feel like you have no control because you can't see any of them, right? But the cool thing is, like, this grand analogy that I made at 3 o'clock in the morning is like, there's a light switch in the back. It's always there, and that light switch is our awareness. And it's the reminder to ourselves that the thoughts are gonna come, the minions are gonna come no matter what, but we get to turn the light switch on and we can see them. And we get to choose which ones we wanna keep and which ones we're like, you know what, no, we're gonna shove these guys back out the door. Because some minion, no matter what minion, it has to be in there. There always has to be some sort of minion in the room, right? We have to have some sort of thought, right? But if we remember to turn the light switch on, that we can be aware of our thoughts instead of just when something happens, reaching up and being like, oh my gosh, I can't grab them, I can't see them. Remembering like, yo, I can turn the light switch on. I can literally turn the light switch on, and then I can see and I can choose, and I get to decide what thoughts, what minions are helping my room and what minions are not helping my room, right? When we're not aware, when that light switch is turned off, both good and bad are just in there bumping around, colliding into each other, and we feel like we have no sense of control because we don't, because we can't see shit. Right? There's no light. How could you possibly decide what one's good, what one's bad, how to get rid of the bad ones, how to keep the good ones? There's no way you can tell that because you can't see. You literally cannot see. But when we turn the light switch on, when we remember, like, oh yeah, I know there's a shit ton of things going on right now. There's things crashing and clanking and screaming and it's just madness. But if I just stay aware and I put my focus on, okay, I'm gonna tune back in. I'm gonna go into that room. I'm gonna go into that room, as scary as it's gonna be, and I'm gonna walk all the way to the back and I'm gonna turn the light switch on. And then I can breathe, right? I can take a breath and I can be like, all right, all these little shits are still in here, but now I can see them. Now I can see them and I can be like, okay, you minion, you can stay. You're cleaning the floor. You're great. You're opening the windows. You're letting the air come in, right? You're a good minion. You can chill. You're cool. You, this minion over here, you're over here throwing plates at the wall. You don't make any sense in this room. That's not what I want to be taking up space and happening in my room, right? And we do get to decide what's in our room, what's taking up energy and what's taking up space in our room. We get to turn the light on and clear those things out. We get the choice, but we don't have the choice if we don't decide to go into the scary room where all the noise is, go all the way to the back and turn the light switch on, right? And it's not always easy. It's not easy when there's a million things crashing around and it just feels heavy, when it feels like the room is like smashing down on the level below it, right? Like it's just consuming everything. The last thing that we want to do is trek up the stairs with all this heavy weight of the day on us, and we're exhausted and we're annoyed. We don't want to open the door and like hear all of those things even louder. We don't want to do any of that, right? It's exhausting. It's exhausting. All we want to do is turn on Netflix. All we want to do is go to bed. All we want to do is binge eat. All we want to do is like smoke or do whatever, go get drunk. Like we don't want to be like, all right, this is my room. This is my room. No one's gonna clean my room except for me, unfortunately. Like, gotta keep my big boy pants on now and like go clean my own room, and I gotta go in there, no matter how messy it is, go all the way to the back, stay focused, go all the way to the back while all this craziness is happening, and turn the freaking light switch on, right? Turn the freaking light switch on, and then start to clean and start to organize and kick out the little shits that are no longer serving us. And it's hard at first, it's heavy, it's exhausting, but once they're out, then you can breathe again, and you don't have to numb yourself with something else. You don't have to just say like, that's just the way life is, like life's a bitch. Like, no, it's not. You just haven't cleaned your room in a while, right? Like you're not exhausted, really. Your mind's not really exhausted. You're not really failing. You're not really this miserable. Your life's not really that bad, right? Just when's the last time you cleaned your room? Truly, with the light on, not just like going in there dark, right? Going in there with it dark and like randomly with a duster touching things. Like, you're not gonna clean that way. You gotta turn the light on. You gotta intentionally turn the light on, right? Make the time to clean your room. Make the time. You can't just stick something up there and like wipe it down with a freaking baby wipe and think it's gonna work. Like, you have to really intentionally take the time to go upstairs and clean your room. That's how we feel better. That's how it becomes less loud and less messy, right? And again, these minions, imagine it like an open door, right? Your room's always open, and eventually the shitty minions are gonna be like, ooh, it smells good in there. What you cooking, little mama? And they're gonna come back because they're little shitty minions, and they're gonna come back, and that's just part of it. Imagine life is like this big circus playground where all these minions are, right? And we're just there. We can't escape them, but that's part of it. It's part of being in the circus. It's part of being a human, that we're going to have negative thoughts, right? The goal isn't resisting them or pretending they're not there, because they are there. And the more we pretend that they're not there, the longer it's gonna take to clean them out, because they're just gonna keep shoving themselves in like sardines or something. Now I'm just making way too many analogies. That was not the goal here. Hopefully on some level this is making some sort of sense and I don't just sound like I'm rambling about minions. But yeah, again, like, I just really wanted to be real with you guys and let you know that like life's always gonna keep happening, right? And we're always gonna be tested with what we believe in and the ways that we choose to respond. And we know now that our thoughts control our emotions, and that controls how we act, and that creates our reality, right? And if we can never really control like all of the things, we can just control how we feel and how we respond to them. Having the awareness is key. When something happens or you feel something, being aware, simply just being aware and recognizing it, it creates a space for us to then respond in alignment, and not just out of habit, not just out of you trying to indulge or mask it or push it away or numb it with something, right? The awareness is key, but the awareness, there's a lot of responsibility in that. Now you're aware, now how are you gonna respond? Now you are aware, how are you going to choose to respond? You're going to choose to respond in these new upgraded ways, or you're going to keep self-sabotaging, you're going to keep playing it safe, you're going to keep just pretending like you're a victim of your life and that you have no control, right? You're going to keep pretending that you can't turn on the light switch, you know? And life's going to keep testing us, and every time we have to decide, like, how are we going to respond? Who are we really? When life is really happening to us right now, when I'm in a freaking mood, who are we really? What do we really believe in? What do we really want to be? Who do we really want to connect to? Who do we really see ourselves? What would our best self, what would our result line, who would that person be? How would they respond, right? Flip the freaking light switch on and decide. We have so much more control than we give ourselves credit for, and that is a beautiful thing.